Have you ever sensed that true power lies not in every word spoken, but in the strength of staying silent? Imagine the quiet assurance of a Stoic, unmoved by chaos, mastering emotion with unshakable calm. Discover the hidden force behind silent wisdom and unlock how silence can make you truly undefeatable. The wisdom of staying silent like a Stoic. Stoic Silent Wisdom, compiled and published by Stoic Power. Lesson 1. Silence is strength, not weakness. Like a mountain standing steadfast in a storm, there is power in silence that endures where words often scatter and dissolve. This power is subtle, felt more than proclaimed, like the quiet glow of embers that outlast the noise and flame of passing fires. Today, more than ever, we find ourselves swept up in a world that rewards volume and speed, where responses are measured not by wisdom but velocity, where speaking first often seems better than thinking deeply. For many, the act of holding one's tongue feels like surrender, as though voicing every emotion, complaint, or thought is a test of confidence or authenticity. Yet, beneath the surface of daily life, another struggle is quietly unfolding. The battle with one's reactions, the need to be heard, and the worry of appearing fragile or weak because of a chosen quiet. Within each of us, there is an unspoken tension. When voices rise in anger or frustration, we feel pulled to raise ours higher, as if our value depends on the decibels we can muster in defense of our pride. In quarrels with partners, in tense moments at work, or even amidst silent disagreements with ourselves, the urge is often to fill every space with reaction. Silence then can feel alien, unnatural, and punishing, like missing a stroke in a rowing race, drifting when you desperately wish to surge ahead. This conflict is especially vivid for those striving for emotional mastery and discipline, for the fear of being unheard or misunderstood looms each time words are left unsaid. Yet, what feels like weakness is in truth a silent fortress, enduring, invincible, and rooted in strength rather than lack. The struggle you face, the discomfort of not responding, is the feeling of true growth taking root. Like an archer who pauses to steady his breath before drawing his bow, you learn to refuse the target that chaos presents and instead fix your aim within. Many live lives tied to the outcomes of noisy contests, expending precious energy in countless battles that offer no peace. The pain is not only the tension with others, but the exhaustion that follows, as if you've weathered a ceaseless storm with no rest in sight. Here's where the heart of ancient Stoic wisdom comes alive. Their essence teaches us that to be silent is not to run from confrontation, but to meet it deeper. A meeting not of word, but of presence. The solution to the weariness of reactive living is a shift in perspective. To view silence as a chosen shield, not a gag. A tool wielded by those who wish to master, not evade, their inner fires. You have the choice to become like a captain guiding a ship through fogged waters, trusting the compass within instead of shouting into the mist. Each moment of chosen silence becomes a small act of strength, an opportunity to train your mind to endure tension without surrendering to it, and to savor the clarity that emerges after the storm. This is not about avoidance or retreat, but a new definition of untouchable composure, a realm where provocation finds no fuel, and petty battles drain no more of your spirit. Adopting silence as strength opens the door to a life less governed by others' chaos and more by your own calm authority. It is a gentle but unbreakable way of being, inviting you to carry an undefinable confidence that commands respect without uttering a single word. With each disciplined pause, you chip away at old fears, the fear of irrelevance, of weakness, of missed opportunity. In their place grows a quiet mastery, echoing the wisdom of those who have, for centuries, chosen stillness over noise and emerged not diminished, but deeply empowered. Start today by practicing mindful pauses before replying, especially when emotions surge. In these silences, notice your body relax, your thoughts clear, and your inner authority rise. Each time you hold back words, you grow stronger, calmer, and more respected. Embrace these moments as daily training for your self-mastery journey. Up next, learn how to master your inner reactions first. If this resonated with you, remember to subscribe, like, and share your reflections or ideas for the channel below. Lesson 2. Mastering Inner Reactions. First, consider the silent surface of a deep lake at dawn, seemingly unmoving, reflecting only the purest colors of the sky. Yet beneath its calm, there is unseen life and shifting currents, energy rarely revealed except by the gentlest ripple. Within us, just as in that lake, our surface may seem still while turbulent emotion stirs below. Every day we face storms of frustration, anxiety, or sudden anger, sometimes set off by nothing more than a passing word or an unexpected challenge. It is in these moments that our true self-mastery is called into question. Do we let those lightning bolts of emotion shatter our surface peace? Or do we become like the Stoic, calm captains navigating unpredictable tides within? So many of us know too well the feeling of a heart quickening in heated conversation, or the flush of disappointment after a setback that refuses to fade. Perhaps you replay difficult moments, wondering why each jolt seems to rock your spirit so completely, why you feel as if you're always one comment, one setback, or even one careless look away from being thrown off course. The inner landscape grows exhausted by these invisible battles, and it feels as though others, or fate itself, have power over your peace. This is the deeply human struggle, wishing to respond with reason and confidence, but instead surrendering almost reflexively to frustration, defensiveness, or despair. Many worry that this uncontrollable storm of reaction makes them less mature, less respectable, or less strong, so they wear masks or withdraw, chasing outward perfection while inwardly feeling vulnerable. The pain points are familiar and universal. At work, an offhand criticism blindsides you before you have a chance to breathe. At home, miscommunication sparks a night of cold silences, or loud words regretted when the day ends. In these moments, the constant impulse is to manage the outside world, force quiet, control outcomes, or hope for others to stop the storms at their origin. But this pursuit is endless and ultimately fruitless. Attempting to manage circumstances or the emotions of others is like chasing the wind, a battle you are never meant to win, and will only leave you feeling more drained, more powerless, less yourself. Over time, you begin to believe you are a victim of your own emotional currents. Here, Stoic wisdom offers a pathway into a radically different experience of life. Instead of trying to control what is outside, the answer is to master our inner responses first. This is where real freedom lives. Imagine your mind as a vast hall with many doorways. Every feeling and event is a gust trying to swing the doors wide. You are not powerless. You are the keeper of these doors. To master your inner reactions is to build the strength to pause, assess, and allow only what deserves your inner peace to enter. The transformative solution is simple yet powerful. Learn to observe emotion without immediately obeying it, to hold attention steady like an archer holding at full draw, even as the target shifts and the winds swirl. As the Stoics taught, this does not mean becoming cold or numb, nor denying hardship when it comes. Instead, it means training your inner compass to notice each flash of feeling, acknowledge it, and respond from a place of chosen clarity, not reflex. With practice, this develops inner control, a steady flame that lights your mind, unafraid of the tempests that rage outside. When you choose not to surrender to every fleeting reaction, you open a life in which composure is your default setting. Suddenly, you are no longer the passive subject of circumstance. You are the silent governor of your own fate, undefeated because you do not spend your strength on unwinnable battles. Adopt this ancient yet ever-living wisdom, and your emotional world will begin to mirror the still, reflective lake, a place of quiet confidence that draws others in, drawing respect and attracting peace even from those who arrive with storms in their wake. This journey is not an easy one, but as you practice, it becomes the foundation that all lasting impact, undefeated will, and silent Stoic mastery is built upon. Breathe before reacting, observe emotion as it rises, and then choose a calm response. You'll quickly notice a sense of mastery growing inside you, leading to richer relationships and more inner peace. Embrace this practice as your daily training. The next lesson will explore how speaking less sharpens your perception. Comment, subscribe, and share your insights below. Lesson 3. Speaking less, perceiving more clearly. Imagine standing at the quiet edge of a vast forest at dawn, surrounded by tall trees. where every small sound, each rustle, each distant call becomes magnified against the calmness. In the stillness, you suddenly notice far more than you could if you charged ahead, talking over the murmur of your own inner voice. In that silence, awareness deepens and the world expands. In much the same way, true clarity in life often arrives not during our most vocal moments, but in our intentional stillness. Consider how, in most conversations, the urge to weigh in rises quickly. A reactive comment, a pressured reply, an anxious need to fill pauses, to prove you are present, to avoid discomfort with space. We rush to be heard, and in our hurry, fail to truly see. Yet beneath the surface of rapid talk, something is lost. Opportunities to connect, understand, and lead with deeper presence disappear as swiftly as morning mist before the sun. Many experience the weariness that comes from relentless conversation. Misunderstandings multiplying, connections remaining shallow, and important details or nuances lost in the noise. In meetings, friendships, and personal reflections, there is a common struggle. The sense that no matter how much you explain, you are rarely fully seen or heard, let alone able to fully understand the world around you. You may notice a lingering dissatisfaction after a hurried debate, wondering why what you tried to communicate didn't reach the other person's heart, or even your own. Beneath it all is the deeper question. If communication is meant to bring understanding, why, when we talk more, do we sometimes feel less connected? Why, the more we speak, do we often hear ourselves less? This inner tension is familiar. We hope that words will build bridges, yet when untempered, words become wandering boats missing the harbor. We wish our opinions would convince others, but much is lost when speech outpaces genuine listening. There's often discomfort within the raw quiet between sentences, a sense of urgency or vulnerability that feels like standing naked in a field. We equate silence with ignorance or submission, and so strive to fill it, unaware that in doing so, we drown out quiet truths waiting to be revealed. Here's where an ancient yet transformative solution emerges, rooted in the very heart of Stoic practice. Choose to speak less, intentionally, so that you can perceive with greater depth and kindness. Speaking less is not about hiding your spirit or masking your importance. Instead, it is a deliberate act, an archery of attention, pulling back the bowstring of speech and aiming not at every obvious target, but at the hidden heart of meaning. When you resist the impulse to react instantly and offer space instead, something remarkable occurs. You unlock a change in yourself and invite those around you into greater awareness too. The world slows, your senses awaken, and in the hush, details become brighter, emotions become clearer, and real signals, often drowned by noise, come into focus. By practicing restrained speech, you transform silence into a tool for gathering insight. Like a careful sailor, using calm waters to chart new land instead of simply shouting course corrections, you approach every conversation with an open mind and an observant heart. Slowly, self-discipline grows. You learn to detect sincere intentions, to sense issues before they escalate, to offer comfort through your presence, and to navigate life's relationships with the still confidence of someone who commands attention without constant noise. Adopting this perspective will feel awkward at first, for silence exposes you and defies habitual ways of being. But in persevering daily, you cultivate Stoic mastery, a silent strength that not only unlocks deeper understanding, but also makes you naturally attractive to others. Someone sought out for your calm wisdom, not only your words. Let this ancient wisdom echo within you. When we choose to listen more and speak less, what truly matters has room to appear, like stars surfacing at the end of twilight. With each deliberate pause, you train your mind for higher clarity, emotional control, and undefeatable presence in both calm seas and storms. Pause before responding, focus your attention fully on others, and listen without planning your reply. Notice how patience reveals deeper truths and brings you respect, calm, and surprising insight. Try this in your next conversation as you're training for clarity. Up next, letting silence dismantle provocation. Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts to help grow our Stoic community. Lesson 4. Letting silence dismantle provocation. Picture a flame that cannot leap beyond its lantern, dancing and flickering no matter how the wind outside wants to stoke it higher. The glass barrier does not fight back. Instead, it simply denies the fire the fuel it craves. Often, life will test you with provocations. Words sharp as splinters, pointed glances, or challenges that prick at your calm in ways both familiar and unexpected. Each provocation seeks a spark, relying on your reaction to flare into a bonfire of conflict. But what if, instead of kindling that fire, you could become the lantern's silent barrier, unwavering, clear, and unbreakable? This image resonates deeply because most of us have faced situations where someone's words seem designed to unsettle, to ignite your temper, or make you justify yourself. It can come at work during stressful meetings or at home, disguised as small annoyances or pointed criticism. Your heart rate rises, and your mind fuels itself with imagined retorts before the other person has even finished their sentence. There's a rush of pressure, an expectation that you must respond, defend, or retaliate, or risk appearing weak. In these situations, the internal struggle can be fierce, like a storm colliding with the fragile calm you worked so hard to maintain. Sometimes the conflict is not even with others, but within yourself. A harsh inner voice prodding you to lash out or protest, misleading you into thinking that reacting is the same as protecting your dignity. However, giving in to provocation rarely brings the satisfaction you hope for. Responding in kind often escalates tension rather than resolving it, leaving both sides wounded by words and neither truly heard. The cycle is exhausting. A moment of anger leads to regret, which in turn feeds back into shame and self-criticism. You may even begin to anticipate confrontation on a daily basis and prepare defenses before anything has happened, depleting your emotional reserves and clouding your perception of others as genuine threats or adversaries. This habitual pattern, over time, can make even minor encounters feel weighty and inescapable. As the pressure mounts, that delicate equilibrium between self-respect and composure feels harder to maintain, leading you farther from peace and farther from who you aspire to be. If you want to master your emotion and remain undefeated in the face of challenge, here lies the ancient Stoic wisdom. Silence, when chosen with intention, is not surrender or disinterest. Rather, it is the strongest form of self-possession, a practice that breaks the cycle of provocation by refusing the invitation to battle. Consider the disciplined archer, whose energy is wasted whenever arrows are fired at every distraction. Instead, let your silence act as the stillness between each breath, both a shield and a message in itself. By meeting provocation with calm, you disrupt the pattern those seeking conflict desire. Their words, met with your restraint, have nowhere to land. They are like ships finding the sea too still for their stormy sails. Adopting this transformative practice can feel unnatural at first, especially when the world teaches you to value fast and clever comebacks. But as you train your mind to create this moment of pause, you allow space for rational thought, for empathy, and for freedom from emotional entanglement. The core idea is simple but powerful. When silence is used deliberately, it is not emptiness, but a container powerful enough to absorb and neutralize negativity. Imagine yourself as a silent, deep-rooted tree. Winds of insult and provocation blow hard, yet you do not move, and with time, those winds die down, having found nothing to topple. The benefits of cultivating this restraint touch every part of your life. Not only does your emotional energy remain preserved, but you become known for your unwavering composure and the rare poise that makes others pause before engaging you in pointless conflict. In that silence, you no longer lose yourself to fleeting emotions or fuel the egos of those who would see you unravel. Instead, you unlock the presence of a true Stoic, calm, confident, and attracting respect not by force, but by calm certainty. This wisdom, alive since ancient times, becomes the silent fire that illuminates your strength from within, a source of peace that cannot be shaken or provoked into becoming something lesser, no matter the storm surrounding you. When provoked, count to 3, hold your silence and breathe calmly. See how tension dissolves and your self-respect grows in those quiet spaces. You'll become more stable, influential, and less shaken by others' storms. Practice at each opportunity. Next, discover the power of quiet composure in public conflict. Subscribe, like, and leave your insights to help build our community. Lesson 5. Quiet composure in public conflict. In the center of a bustling city square, imagine a statue carved of the oldest stone, unmoved as crowds swirl in agitation all around it. Birds flutter, voices echo, and events shift like wind through banners. Yet the statue never relents. It radiates an aura of timeless calm. This image is the true heart of quiet composure, a reminder that in moments of public conflict, we too can stand rooted, unbowed, and untroubled, while tumult swirls at our feet. Every one of us, at some time, will walk into similar storms, whether in the workplace, at family gatherings, or among strangers, where tempers flare and all eyes turn, searching for reactions as if they're leaves tossed on a twisting breeze. Often, the deepest struggle in these heated moments is internal. A familiar panic rises. You worry that others judge your silence as weakness, or misinterpret calm as apathy or agreement. You feel yourself teeter on a narrow path between defending your dignity and maintaining your sense of peace. For many, the impulse is to match the volume of the room, to assert control or regain lost respect by meeting noise with noise. Perhaps you know the rush, a feeling as if you're both the audience and the performer, compelled to prove yourself on the world's stage. This dilemma is amplified by the fear of exclusion or embarrassment. You may dread leaving the crowd with the wrong impression, leading you to react more to perception than to necessity. Most people, when faced with public conflict, feel unreasonably exposed. The fear of making a mistake or showing emotion breeds a deep vulnerability, and this can often invite anxiety or defensive overcompensation. In group settings, you might sense your emotions climbing rapidly, every heartbeat magnified, every word you don't say echoing twice as loud in your mind. Sometimes you say things you instantly regret, words meant to protect yourself that only complicate the conflict further. Afterward, a heavy regret settles in, a silent promise that next time you'll keep your balance. Yet the cycle returns, intensified by the pressure of new eyes upon you. The solution, though, emerges once we realize that real strength does not need to announce itself. Quiet composure is the mastery of presence, the ability to be like the stone statue whose value is not in its clamor, but in its unwavering stillness. The transformative path begins the moment you accept that outward chaos is not an invitation to lose your inward calm. When you choose silence, not as withdrawal, but as measured discipline, you become the single unmoving point in a spinning circle. Practice reining in your emotional reactions, even when provoked in full view, and you'll notice something subtle but profound. Public conflict loses its ability to shape you. Instead, your composure shapes the conflict. Think of a seasoned captain whose ship is threatened by stormy seas. He navigates not with frantic shouts, but with calm commands, steady hands, and silent resolve. Even as the storm rages, those on board are reassured by his presence, often mirroring his composure. By embracing quiet composure, you become this captain, regardless of the setting or the number of onlookers. This self-mastery unlocks something magical, an inner authority that inspires respect from others, even those angling for discord. The wisdom is ancient and alive. The one who controls their own state wields the greatest impact, for their stillness both attracts support and deflects blows. When you let the still fire of your disciplined soul burn, the temptation to prove yourself fades, replaced by the certainty that self-worth is neither given nor taken by a crowd. This is how the silent Stoic trains the mind and emerges undefeated, no matter how fierce the world's storms become. When conflict erupts, pause, ground your body, and focus on steady breathing. Stay silent for a moment, then choose only words that add calm, not chaos. You'll witness greater respect, reduced stress, and clearer leadership. Embrace each challenge as practice. Next, explore how silent confidence can command deep respect. Subscribe, like, and share your thoughts to join our Stoic circle. Lesson 6. Silent confidence commands greater respect. There is a rare and enduring power in the way a mountain rises from the mist, silent and unmoved, its very presence shaping the winds, but never shouting to be noticed. This quiet dignity speaks with more authority than thunder ever could. In a world that too often celebrates noise, displays, and the constant performance of worth, the soul who stands confidently in silence gains a gravity all its own. Underneath frantic conversation and overconfident gestures, there exists an inner struggle that many secretly recognize. The tension between the urge to prove oneself and the undeniable longing for grounded, quiet assurance. Even when accomplishments are impressive or opinions strong, there can remain a lingering anxiety inside. Is anyone truly listening? And do they truly respect me? Sometimes, to be heard or acknowledged, we overcompensate with bravado or overshare details, clinging to the belief that visibility equals value. Yet the ancient Stoic perspective reveals a refreshing paradox. Real authority does not demand attention. It draws it naturally and with subtle force. For many, the burden of needing to be seen or known weighs heavily on both public and private life. In meetings, group settings, or first encounters, the pressure mounts to give perfect answers or display expertise. Instead of feeling authentic, we become characters in our own play, caught between underplaying our worth and overplaying our hand. This struggle is further complicated by societal expectations that favor extroversion and the idea that the loudest voice is the most influential. Even when you want to remain humble or introspective, it may feel risky. Will you be missed, misunderstood, or left behind in the rush of louder personalities? When praised, there is doubt that the recognition is for your real self. When overlooked, you wonder if you should abandon restraint and join the noise just to keep up. With every word spoken simply to fill silence, the doubt grows deeper, leading to exhaustion and a sense of invisibility. This leads many to seek respect through outward force, rapid responses, or constant demonstration of their value. But rarely does this strategy bring the deep admiration or self-assured calm we crave. Soon, interactions feel transactional and shallow, and our self-worth becomes tangled in fleeting approval rather than anchored in resilient confidence. The essential shift comes when you realize that the need to be the loudest in the room stems not from strength, but from a fear of being unseen, a fear that can be transformed. Here is where the transformative wisdom of the archetypal silent Stoic offers liberation. Choose to cultivate an inner confidence so steady that it requires no performance at all. When you enter a space, let your actions, your measured gaze, and your attentive presence do the speaking. Those around you quickly sense that you are not searching for their approval, nor afraid of their scrutiny. This silent confidence is built and strengthened by deeply understanding your values, honing your skills, and letting your results speak for themselves without fanfare. Much like an archer who aims in perfect stillness at an unseen distant mark. Trust that consistency and dedication create an invisible force field of charisma. People are naturally drawn to those whose sense of worth radiates from within, rather than being constantly requested or explained. This is not a confidence that comes from arrogance or coldness, but from genuine self-possession, a living fire that neither blazes wildly nor dies down under pressure. By embracing this way of being, you quietly command greater respect with each encounter. Over time, others come to trust your judgment, seek out your input, and admire your unspoken strength. The silent Stoic's respect is not won by shouting over chaos or proving superiority in every battle, but by standing unshakable in the midst of noise, unthreatened and untroubled by the shifting opinions that come and go. In every room you enter, your steady composure sets the tone, inviting others to rise to your level. This ancient wisdom, a flame that has burned in Stoics across centuries, remains yours to unlock and ultimately embody through consistent practice and unwavering authenticity. Before speaking, ground yourself, meet others' eyes, and let your silence speak confidence. Watch how respect and influence build around you. Practice this daily and see trust grow without words. Take this approach into all interactions. Next, discover how stillness unlocks deep influence. Subscribe, like, and share your stories to strengthen our Stoic community together. Lesson 7. Becoming still to influence deeply. Picture a vast lake at dawn, unbroken and perfectly still, its surface capturing not just the image of the world around it, but also the sky's changing moods and the promise of sunrise. In its stillness, there is a subtle authority. Nature's quiet influence invites the keen observer to see more, feel deeper, and be drawn into a state of reflection. There is a lesson in this calm that can transform not only how you experience life, but how you move others. True influence is born out of quiet presence and stillness, not out of striving to impress or outtalk those around you. Beneath life's surface, everyone yearns to be the source of steady calm amidst noise. Yet this goal often feels frustratingly elusive. Many people wrestle with the uncertain tension between a natural desire for impact and the tendency to become swept up in the currents of everyday busyness. When you want to make a difference, whether with loved ones, colleagues, or the world at large, the reflex is to assert, to clarify, to add energy where there is uncertainty. In moments of nervousness, your voice may rise, your mind race, and your actions fumble for control, believing that ongoing motion equates to influence. Yet underneath, there may be a persistent anxiety. What if by holding back, by pausing, or by allowing silence, you will miss your chance? You worry that calm will be misunderstood as weakness, or that others may overlook you entirely. Such doubts tempt you back into old patterns of performing, fighting for a foothold rather than creating real impact. This conflicted energy leads to problems we all recognize. Your presence is often overrun by louder personalities. You seem to compromise more than you intend, and fleeting impressions take the place of real connection. You leave meetings, conversations, or even heartfelt moments, feeling as though something of your essence was muffled by noise. Each effort spent talking more was a ripple that distorted the water's true reflection. Gradually, this invites frustration, self-doubt, and exhaustion, leaving you depleted rather than inspired by your efforts. It becomes increasingly difficult to influence outcomes or relationships when your voice is constantly at the surface, creating rather than calming the waves. Yet, there is a centuries-old solution that runs counter to this frantic pursuit: to become profoundly still, a living force as unmoved as the silent lake, commanding attention not through excess, but through vivid focus and presence. The art of influence through stillness is both simple and transformative. When you resist the urge to rush in, when you pause without fidgeting for your next point or reaction, you awaken in others a natural curiosity and respect. You turn your attention outward, wholly absorbing the moment, listening beneath the words, understanding without the need to interrupt or impress. The result is a resonance, a depth in which your calm fosters real trust, and your silence gives weight to your words when you do choose to speak. This practice is not about becoming invisible or stoic in the sense of distancing yourself from others or from your own feelings. Instead, it is a cultivated discipline, a deep training of the mind to hold a steady, genuine presence, so powerful that those around you naturally attune to your energy. By centering yourself, much like a seasoned sailor masterfully steering a ship through foggy waters, your influence grows quietly but unmistakably. Even in challenging discussions, your stillness puts others at ease, diffuses anxiety, and sets the emotional current of the room. Over time, people gravitate toward the solidity you offer. They seek your guidance and respect your contribution, drawn to the powerful assurance only true calm can provide. Embracing this ancient wisdom will not just improve your relationships, but also unlock new opportunities that only present themselves to those with unwavering composure. Instead of spending your energy on constant explanation or reaction, you become like a silent archer, aiming your intentions only when the moment requires, investing yourself fully and consciously into all that you do. The benefit is a rising sense of self-trust and undefeated presence, a core of strength you carry through every storm and into every safe harbor. In letting your stillness speak, you invite the world to experience not only your words, but your unwavering character and resolve, which is the very heart of the Stoic path. To become a source of lasting influence, quietly powerful and forever steady, begin each day with a moment of deep stillness, focusing on your breath and letting distractions fade. During conversations, consciously pause, listen fully, and respond only when clarity arises. You'll notice stronger trust, greater influence, and unshakable calm growing within you. Practice this mindset daily to turn every challenge into an opportunity for lasting impact and growth. In this journey, we explore the silent power of Stoic wisdom, embracing calm, mastering emotions, and commanding respect through stillness and composure. Thank you for investing your time and attention. If these insights inspired you, please like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe for more empowering lessons on our YouTube channel.